Parents strongly cautioned. The following program may contain material that some parents may not find suitable for children. The following program may contain material such as foul language, discussion of gore, dangly parts, exploding lolitas, tentacles, and a rampant assortment of fruit paste. You have been warned. And welcome one and all to Equinimation here on Radio is Magic Entertainment. And guess what? It is our final show of the year, so we have some awesome things planned out for tonight. In case you have not figured it out yet, I am your host with the most, the man with Super Saiyan swagger, the one and only Pony Vegeta. And here tonight to help me talk about almost every single brand new series that came out in 2013. First up, we have one of my oldest co-hosts, Spider Sex.
Hello, sorry, I disconnected there for a second. Hello, everybody. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Murakruma. And then we have our anime and manga reviewing Sentai hero, MangaMan.
Moshi Moshi.
I am so excited. I have not watched this many new series at once since, well, ever.
Yeah, we can tell. We can tell.
I mean, no kidding. I have not gone on a binge like this in God knows how long. I don't think I've ever watched this many new series in a short time span that my brain began to melt. I just couldn't.
How many did you watch again? Like 45?
Yes, I watched 45 different series over about 6 days. That's. Whoa. I just. No, I would have had more, but I didn't have as much free time as I thought I was going to, so,
Tell me about it.
No kidding, but how are you guys doing today?
Good. I got my meal with me.
Rom.
I've got my ROM. I've got a brand spanking new mic, which I'm not actually using right at the second because I disconnected from the Skype call on my laptop because I was moving it down, and I'm gonna be moving back over to that real quick. But I'm good. I just got a bunch of games from the Steam sale, and I'm fucking psyched to do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Awesome, yeah.
I missed the sale because of work. Yeah.
You what?
The sale's still going on. It's got some more days.
Yeah.
Yeah, always keep an eye on those flash sales, though. I've picked up some good stuff from this Steam sale too. But we're not here to talk about a Steam sale, or are we? No, we are not.
Maybe some steamy sales.
Oh ho ho ho!
Oh.
Righto.
Oh,
again, we are here to talk about 2013 in general in the world anime. Because, well, I didn't realize just how much would come out in the span of 1 year. I really didn't until I saw the list, and I'm like, oh my lord, I have to sit down and watch some of all this? I don't know if my brain can handle this.
And granted, we ourselves didn't check out any anime series that were sequels to anything.
No, everything we checked out...
As far as we know.
Right. Everything that we watched was just stuff that was brand new this year. No stuff with new seasons or movies, just brand new series. And even still, there was a lot to go through. I said, I watched 45. There was probably still about double that much. Around.
This isn't even honestly the biggest season of anime I've ever seen. Honestly, I think back in 2006, there were almost 200 new series that got produced. It was pretty crazy.
It was insane, man.
I remember that day.
Crazy. Just
when
like
we
back in
almost lost the war.
War.
It's like some like big war story.
War
those
never
hours.
changes.
All those hours of anime. I almost didn't survive. I gained like 400 pounds. Anyway.
I still
But
get
luckily with my hug
flashbacks.
pillow, luckily with my hug pillow by my side, I was able to get through all those lonely nights.
Those things are creepy. Anyway, yeah. So
I want one of those things. I want one for Ray.
I actually have like a cover for one from Holo from Spice and Wolf, just because I love the artwork on it. She's not doing anything.
Horo.
She's not any kind of suggestive clothing or any kind of suggestive poses. It's just Holo being Holo. And
Naked.
Yeah, okay.
no, not
Okay.
naked. Not naked.
Yeah, wasn't she naked for most of the series?
She
was
was.
naked for most of the series.
She was. Anyway, let's.
Well, she was a wolf for a while. Well, she is a wolf.
She's always a wolf.
A wolf
Wow.
in human clothing. Sometimes. Anyway, we already have a lot. We have a lot to talk about, so we need to get started. So, the flow of the show overall tonight is, with all this different stuff that we've watched, is being broken down into 3 different categories. You have your 2 standard ones, which are just good and bad, and then we have the one that can go in a couple different directions, which is the wild card list.
That.
Yeah, which is pretty much either the stuff that is so...
Yeah.
Hello?
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 I can hear you.
Hello?
Oh,
I can hear you.
Okay. Where's our...
Hello?
Hello?
There we are.
Hello?
Whoa, we're having some weird technical issues here. I can hear myself
Oh,
over
dear.
MangaMan's thing.
Yeah.
His thing.
Sorry, I had to
Dang.
unplug for a second. Hold on.
Okay then. Technical issues, everyone! Woo! But yes, the wild card list can go in a couple of different directions.
Whee!
Swinging back and forth. I swing my anime back and forth. Either it's stuff that is just so absolutely outrageous, or, well, in a nutshell, the verdict is still pretty much out on it. Either you could love it or you could hate it, depending on where it ends up. And especially because for a lot of this, I didn't really get to watch a whole lot of I watched like 1 or 2 episodes at most. Is all I could get into some of this stuff. So you can't really base an entire season off of a couple of episodes. So the verdict is still
You're
kinda
not the
out,
only
so-
one.
Yeah. So again, the wild card list can go in either one of those 2 directions. So yeah. So that's what we're gonna start with. We're gonna start off with our wild card list, and we each have our own top 5 of all 3 of these different lists that we picked out for them. So that's how we are going to get started. So, gentlemen,
Yeah.
which one of you would like to go first?
I will.
I think MangaMan should go first.
I think he should too, since he volunteered.
All right. Pressure's on.
You can do it. Believe in the heart of the cards.
Yeah, that's not on this list.
Part of the cards.
What was that? Solid Snake trying to be
Yugi.
Yugi?
I would have supported that. Solid David Hayter as Yami
the heart of the
Yugi.
cards, Colonel.
Nah, my
David
computer's
Hayter's not going to be Snake anymore.
my computer's acting up a bit.
Oh dear, that's not good. No.
All right.
That actually reminds me, David Hayter's not going to be Snake anymore.
What?
Sad face.
Yeah, you didn't hear that?
Mm-mm. Oh,
They
I've never
replaced
heard-
his voice with a big name movie star, Kevin Keithner.
Costner?
Costner? Kevin
No,
Costner?
It wasn't Kevin Costner. It was neither of those guys. It was Kevin. Hang on.
Bacon?
Snake. No, it wasn't Kevin Bacon. Voice. It was. It was Kiefer Sutherland. That was it.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
All
gonna
right.
be Snake now. Or not Snake, Big Boss, but yeah.
Right.
Profound sadness.
No kidding. So, MangaMan, is your computer stop acting like a child on crack?
Hold on, this crack baby needs another slap. All right, there we go. Okay, so wildcard lists. Where to start? I've been so busy lately, I didn't have time to pull a list together, so I'm just looking down the list. So my list is going to be kind of not, in a numerical sense, but just me listing off the anime as I see them. Oh, here's one of them from the wildcard list. Well, or should I put that in the other list? Okay, well, let's just start off with... You know what? One of you start off first, because I am all confuddled here.
You're all confuddled here?
Yeah.
Confuzzled.
Alright, I guess I'll start. I already have my list right in front of me of the stuff that I actually got through, and it's all, my top 5 is numbered. So, I'll start...
You fancy.
Yes, I am. I said to do this right before show, so... So, my number 5 pick for the wild cards that I saw, I think it has got to go to Ishida and Asakura. And my reasoning, so one, this is one of those, a few series that came out this year where the episodes are 5 minutes long. Half of that is opener and outro. And this is...
What?
I'm not kidding. It's like, the episodes are only 5 minutes long and half of it is the intro and the outro. And there were a few others like this that came out this year. And this one, I think, again, all of them were trying to go, because they're only so short, trying to go for that weird or outrageous crazy angle. And to me, this was the best one out of all of those. It focused around, I can't remember which characters, but one of them had dreams of becoming a high school teacher, so he could hang himself, so he could constantly be around hot high school girls all day.
And that is the plot of GTO.
One. The other one is gay and wants to run a flower shop with that guy when they get out of high school. And every single episode began with the one guy saying that was what his dream was, and they're saying, "But why? You have to run a flower shop with me." It was a running gag right there at the start of the episode for them to continue on that one short little conversation. Well, why do you want to run the flower shop? Well, why do you want to hang around with high school girls all day? And it was just really, really random. But it was done in a good kind of way. And it's like, you never knew what was going to be said. You had, like, some guy that had buck teeth that almost drug the ground. Some chick with, like, obnoxiously big hair. I can't even. It's just, Ishida and Asakura, you have to check it out. It's cray cray.
How about we go, like, back and forth? Like, you do one from your list, I do one from my list, and Spire does one from his list, because I just found one from my list.
That's totally fine by me.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I found it, I'm just now trying to find the name of it. Keep talking about that thingy you were talking about.
I don't really have a whole lot more I can say about it. I mean, it's just so the episodes are like so short, and it's just so completely out there. But not as out there as some of the other stuff that ended up on that list.
Alright, I got mine.
Awesome.
For number 5, I choose Tamako Market for a wildcard list.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
That was moe as shit.
It was very moe.
It's one of the ones I did not get to.
Well, it's okay. This is directly from my own video reviews of 2013. But I chose Tamako Market because when I was asking people, hey, what anime do you want me to look at for good, bad, and wildcard? Everyone that voted on this one being bad, and I couldn't understand why. So the story of Tamako Market is that it's basically a slice of life with very, very, very moe elements to it. And it talks about Tamako, of course. and who runs a mochi shop, which is a traditional Japanese dessert. And one day, while traveling through the market, she comes across a cockatoo or a parrot type thing, who calls himself. Oh, he's so great. I can't remember his name though. Hold on. You try to remember. Oh yeah, basically his name means. Oh yeah, Dara Mochiyaki.
What?
Yes,
Could
Dara.
you repeat that?
Dara. Well, his Japanese name is Dara Mochi Mazui, but basically it translates to Dara Mochi, the dessert, and Yucky.
Well then.
What?
It was basically a little joke that he had to decide when he announced his name, and the father, who's very prideful of Mochi, is like, Mochi is not Yucky, and he chucks the bird. But I say Dara really stole the show for me because he's so like over the top, kind of a little bit flamboyant in a way, but kind of like that. Yeah, I strut my feathers proud.
Yeah.
But that's basically, besides Dara, it's mostly a slice of life story with a talking parrot that could speak perfect Japanese.
Why does the talking parrot speak Japanese?
Because they're in Japan.
Of
But
course.
that doesn't make any sense. There's no parrots in Japan.
Yeah, there are.
There are now.
Aha!
There's the one.
There are?
Well, there's
Oh.
Dara.
Yeah, Dara. Who I think is a cockatoo. He looks like a cockatoo. What's funny is that Dara was only like passing by, and he was on a duty to search for a bride for his prince from a distant land. But he gets sidetracked when he really enjoys eating mochi, and he eats so much mochi that he becomes fat and he can't fly anymore.
Wow.
Oh yeah, but Dara is the major thing about this show that I really love, and I can understand some people not liking moe stuff. It can get a little cutesy at times, but honestly, from all the other anime that have come out in 2013, this one is not anywhere in the ballpark of being a bad anime.
I may have to give that one a check out then. I've got the first episode downloaded. I just never got around to watching it.
What about you, Spider?
My first wild card was Ishida no Asuraka, which I only watched one episode of, and then decided, yeah, I think I'm just gonna let this one go on the wild card list. But my next wild card on that list is because I haven't finished it. Oh wait, I just realized it's kind of a sequel, sort of spin-off to another series.
Well, count it for now since it's on the list.
Well, it's called The Unlimited Hyobo Kyosuke. It's a spin-off of how do I pronounce this? Zeta Karen children centering around its main antagonist, or one of the antagonists. That's a series that I haven't watched, Hyobo Kyosuke, and it's really, really dark and edgy. It takes place in a world where people have psychic powers, and they're treated as freaks of nature and mutants, like in the X-Men world. And Hyobo Kyosuke is really ambiguous because he wants to liberate them or save them, or he's basically Psychic Magneto and wants to. I didn't really quite get his motivation, but he really wanted to just sort of liberate the people with psychic powers. So then this one dude comes along and damn it, it's been a while since I've actually watched this. I can't really remember the plot. This one dude comes along, and he's recruited into Hyobo Kyosuke's organization, and it turns out he was an agent for another organization, and then politics and backstabbing ensue, and it's got lots of good characters, but the reason why I put it on my list is because I didn't watch the first series, even though I really shouldn't have. And this series was just kind of weird. It fluctuated between being really good and entertaining and being really, really edgy. And I just didn't quite know what to make of it. And I never really finished it. I'll probably get to finishing it tonight, actually. But
I've actually
yeah, it
heard
was
a
weird.
lot of people talking about this anime, and I didn't get a chance to watch it because of that. Because of the reason that it was. Is it a sequel or is it just like a spin-off?
It's a spin-off. I don't think it doesn't really say that the events are a direct continuation of the events that happened in the prior series, but it
Okay.
does feature all the most of the characters from the last one.
Would have
Apparently.
watching the first series maybe make it a little bit easier to understand it, or do you not have to have seen the first series?
I I haven't. There's a few characters that show up and like you're supposed to know who these are, and I didn't really know who these are. And but altogether, I could follow the plot pretty well. It was pretty straightforward and understandable. There was enough characters in there that it stands on its own. So if you want to go for it, go ahead. But just a warning, the last series is 52 episodes long, so it might be a bit to sort of chew off.
Another little tidbit that I learned about this series is that this is actually this anime series has a cameo of Doug Walker, the nostalgia critic, and James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, appearing as anime characters.
That's the anime that
What?
happens in.
Yes, the anime.
Are you kidding me?
I've seen the
When does this happen?
I've seen the screenshot of that.
It's from this anime series, The Unlimited Hyobu Koyosuke.
Let me Google this. Let me fucking Google this.
I've actually seen the images. Both Doug Walker and James Rolfe have posted that image on their Facebook profiles a long time ago. Like I think when it first hit or when they first found out about it. I've seen that. I laughed. I thought it was hilarious.
Oh my god. There it is.
Yeah, link the image to me. I'm gonna put that in the stream.
Yeah, they're actually
There it is.
Yep, they actually appear in episode 5 of the series. Well, only as like a minor background characters, but still, it's a neat little tidbit.
Yeah, because
Wow. Just wow.
Yeah, because they recreated the.
Recreate it.
And that was pretty great.
I mean,
well played.
Wow.
You cannot look at that and not say like that can't be anybody else but those two.
Yep.
It's so fun that the anime creators like really enjoy their videos so much that they put them in the anime, and could happen to me.
One
Maybe
day.
one day, one of these days, the MangaMan will be in an anime or a
One
manga.
of these days.
Pow! Straight to the moon.
We have fun here.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Vegeta, you're up next for your next wild
Yes.
card.
My number 4 pick for my wild card, which, well, if I'd have watched a bit more, this one may have ended up on my good list. But I watched 2 episodes of it, and the first one was apparently a preview episode where it just strung together random events from the series, and I had no idea what was going on. And the first episode didn't clarify enough, but it was still enjoyable for some reason. And that was Kyoso Giga. I honestly don't entirely know the plot. All I know is, so far from what I gathered from the first episode, he's a priest of some kind, and most things he draws on paper can come to life.
I've seen that power before.
Yeah, and one particular thing he drew was a black rabbit. And the black rabbit that was in the picture fell in love with the priest, and a goddess granted the rabbit life through use of her own body, and they apparently eventually they both fell in love, that he drew like children for them. And eventually they travel. The reason he does this is because apparently he somehow taps into this other universe or something when he draws. And using this power, him, the Black Rabbit, and their 3 children travel to this other world. And I can't quite make heads or tails of everything going on, but it was kind of weird. Yet strangely enjoyable. Like, there was a coherent plot going on. But that first episode, the preview, I didn't know it was a preview episode at the time. I thought it was supposed to be like, some kind of backstory thing, and then it just like confuzzled everything for me. But it was a very, very interesting watch. And I can't quite... I don't... All I know is there's some girl with like some really huge hammer that has these swirly dots in the hammer head. And I can't even.
Here's an interesting thing about that. This series that you're talking about, just looking it up right now, it originally was a ONA, an original net animation. Now, unlike an OVA, original video animation, an ONA is an anime that is released over the internet. Like for example, Pokemon, the mastermind of Mirage Pokemon, was actually one of these ONAs. It was first released over on the internet, then it was released on DVD.
Interesting.
Hmm.
And I thought I remember reading that, because I thought the first episode was supposed to be like some kind of like backstory to cover something that had happened in that. And then we move on to the main series, but the preview episode was just weird. Because mostly it was the chick with the hammer swinging it around and blowing things up, and there was some convoluted mess that I didn't understand.
Wait a minute, was this chick the rabbit that was swinging the hammer?
Nope, this was just some random chick that came in at the end of the first episode.
I was gonna say, if it was the rabbit with a hammer... Then it'd be like, that one legend about the rabbit on the moon.
Lol.
I'm not familiar with this legend.
It's Japanese folklore. It's actually a little bit of mochi, if to tie it back to my previous anime that I talked about. In that they say, I don't know the exact legend, but it's something along the lines of like a rabbit on the moon making mochi. Like the old way of making mochi is like you'd actually have to hammer it in order to get the dough the right viscosity or consistency or texture, I think. I don't know. I haven't done too much research, so I could be wrong.
They did that in Dragon Ball. They made that reference in the original Dragon Ball.
Yep. It's a big folklore thing.
Oh, that just flew way over my head.
I think it does that all the time. So, MangaMan, you're number 4.
Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with Hakiden Toho Hakin Imbun.
That one made it on my list.
Oh,
as
this
well,
one.
But it made it on a different
Me
list
too.
for me.
Yeah.
The first season made it on the list for me. I haven't watched the second one yet.
Yep. This series, it's also translated out to Hakiden 8 Dogs of the East. This series, based around the plot of 5 years ago, a village of Otsuka died. Everyone died from a plague, but there were 3 survivors. I think it was 2 brothers and a sister. Or something along those lines.
Yeah, 2 brothers. They were family. 2 brothers and a sister.
They were a family. Yep. They took shelter in a church in nearby. Then we cut back to several years ahead of time. And again, all of the anime that I am going to talk about here, you could just look at my review of the wildcards. I'll give that to Vegeta to post in the thing. There you go.
Alrighty.
Because I'll probably ramble a bit too much on this. But basically, the major thing, I felt this anime was kind of an in-between for me. It wasn't super good, but wasn't really bad either, just in my aspects.
It was really gay.
Yes.
Wow.
And it was also very...
It really was really gay.
Yes. Yes. It also was very kind of Shotokan. Shotokan? Am I saying it
Shotokan, I
right?
think it's
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Little boy porn.
boys.
Oh, well then.
Well, not entirely, but it's kind of like a fan servicey for girls. It's basically, so many people are gonna complain about me saying this about it, but it's essentially kind of yaoi. And a little bit of Shotokan.
It's not outright yaoi, but it is very, very homoerotic. Like,
Yes,
the series
that's
is full of just really muscular, cute bishies, and there's one character that's just outright bisexual, and actually, he's the only one who actually makes advances, who, like, actively
It's a
makes
little
advances at anyone. Yeah.
Little boy, would you
Well, hey
like
there,
to
you
see
fine
my
pe-
funny
like-
bunny? He's got a hammer.
The subgroup the subtitle group that I downloaded that episode from, when he first talked to him, these two characters, he said, "Well, aren't you a fine piece of ass?" is what they translated it as.
Of course they did. Come on, man.
Yeah.
This is a Studio Dean production. They do good stuff.
Oh my.
Stay classy.
Honestly, if you can get past it's not bad. It's not as bad as, like, say, Free, for example.
Which I just never got around to watching intentionally.
It's not as
my
overtly
God,
like
Free.
that as Free. But
They
it's
weren't even
still-
trying to hide it with Free.
Of course not. That was their sole intention of making that. That was the sole intention of Free, but that's not what we're talking about. Anyways, I chose Hakuten 8 Dogs of the East because it does have an intriguing plot, though at the same time it does have a little bit of that Shotokan / yaoi fanfiction-y. Like, so much shipping. Shippers, you will love this series. So much shipping.
All aboard!
The ship of fail.
We fight for Shotokan.
You.
Oh, God.
You do
Please,
that.
no.
You do that.
Anyways, that's mine.
Spider, you're next. What would you call your number 4?
Well, my number 4 was going to be this. Again. So I'm just going to... Is it alright if I skip to my number 3? Because,
Yeah.
like... Actually, I do have some words on this.
Alright.
I thought it was weird. I haven't watched the second season yet, which also came out this year. And I've been meaning to get around to it. But I thought it was weird. It was well animated and had good characters, but... It was just weird and kind of homoerotic, and the first season was really, really slow. Like, it was just nobody doing anything, really.
Mm.
And it ends really weirdly, like, "I am your brother." No! And then someone turned, like, 12 years older and grew hair, and it was pretty weird, honestly.
It's not true.
And it was not
It's
enough for me to give, like,
impossible.
And it was just generally kind of weird. But I'm hoping it picks up in the second season because everybody's backstories have been established, and it's only forward from here, right, guys? Right?
Better be.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So what's your
But,
number
you
3?
want me to talk about?
Yes.
My number 3 was also pretty gay. It was Carnival, spelled with a K. Now, Carnival is about this one dude. It opens up on, like,
Oh,
this
yes.
one hot chick, and she's on top of this white-haired guy, and it's never actually really explained what happened or how they got there. But she's on top of him, and she's trying to seduce him. And all of a sudden, this edgy guy with black hair and goggles, and he looks like Ty from Digimon, kinda. And this jet blue outfit, he comes in and like, fuck you, I'm stealing this little white kid. And he steals the little white kid, and then stuff ensues. And it turns out he works out, and it turns out the lady is this crazy-ass monster, and then fight ensues, and then I can't remember what happened after that, but she gets crushed or something, and it turns out... Wait, did anyone else watch this?
I did.
I don't know what happens.
I watched... the kid with white hair is so useless and annoying.
It was.
Like,
it actually kind of makes I would like to point out, this really does actually make a whole lot of sense, given his character. He is not actually human. He is like some sort of fluffy mouse thing that somehow got turned into a human.
That
Makes
would
sense to
explain
me.
that would explain why he's annoying and useless.
He just squeaks all the time.
And... Yep. And... I can't remember what happens next, but then they get picked up by an organization called Carnival, which is dedicated to destroying these monsters or something. And then edgy backstories ensue. Now, this series was kind of...
The greatest show on earth.
This series was kind of weird, because again, it was really like mad service. Lots of little boys and lots of really toned dudes being
What is up
all
with this year
skinny
and all
and
the little
sexy.
boy? What's all this little boy stuff that's coming out this year?
I don't know.
I do not. I think it was actually free.
You know
honestly,
what?
like given how popular
Well, this
got
came out
on
before.
Tumblr,
This came out before free.
but wasn't it announced before free? And everyone on Tumblr was like, "Oh my god, it's so cute! I want to."
Well, I think what it
Like,
also
everyone
is,
on
it's like it's like for the gay community out there, like how often is this the case where like one partner is more masculine and one partner is like more feminine? I mean, can't there ever be a chance where like both of them are feminine or both of them are masculine? I'd love this. I would love to see an anime with two gay masculine men, because I think that'd be funny.
Well, we call that bara. I think it's called. It's like two big,
Bara?
like arms. Bara, yeah, B-A-R-A. Bara.
Bara.
Like, you know, Bowser.
Bakura.
Bara.
Bakura.
Well, there was almost one like that this year. Almost. Yeah, I don't think they were gay, but they could have been. They could have been close. I'll talk about that one a bit later.
Thankfully, did not see any of that. I thankfully did not see any of that.
Be
Let's
thankful
see.
it made it onto my
But,
bad list.
There's a good example. There's a good reason where they have like the seme-uke thing, because that's sort of the classical Japanese homosexual relationship thing.
Right. From the theater.
Yeah. Not just theater. They get a lot of their like tropes and storytelling from theater. In fact, that's pretty much all they had in terms of like fiction and fantasy for several thousand years. And that's why they're so hell-bent on a lot of these tropes. But a big part of that was that the Greeks had this too. You needed like a strong male influence to become big and strong, so samurai would often take little boys as partners. And
because I love their thought. I love the Greeks' thought process on this concept. It was like, it's okay if two men are doing it as long as one of them has a beard and the other one does not, because two men with beards cannot get together. It's like
the ends with magnets.
It ends with the beards repel each other.
I can't even.
Sorry, baby, you gotta be clean shaven, or we're not doing this.
I can't.
Whatever. I'm gonna go Persians.
I can't.
Greeks.
Ancient
Oh, you crazy.
You cray cray.
They did actually. They had practices like that up until, like really late until the Byzantine Empire. Homosexuality was totally cool.
Yeah, there
for a while, and
then we went backwards for some reason.
actually,
like,
I can
yeah,
tell you
that
why
was-
they went back. I can tell you why they went backwards. The fucking Ottomans dedicated their entire culture to destroying their culture.
Damn Ottomans. But they're so good as recliner chairs.
Wait. Moving right along, because we got
Yes.
really sidetracked there.
Sidetracked.
Yeah. From here on, as far as my wildcard list, I can become a little bit more coherent with my thoughts now.
All right.
The stuff that some of it's still a bit outrageous, but I'm a little more coherent because I watched a little bit more of it. But my number 3 pick goes to Nokome, which this one has a very, very long English title. I'm going to read this real quick. Let me pull up the name of the list. And I'd been dying to watch this for a long time because it's one of the few that I knew about beforehand. The full title is My Mental Choices Are Completely Interfering with My High School Romantic Comedy.
My mental...
Needlessly
Choices.
long.
Oh, boy.
My mental choices are completely interfering with my school romantic comedy.
That is the greatest title ever.
But I wouldn't say so. There's one that ended up on my bad list that had an even weirder title, but it's not on my top 5, but I will get to that later. But this series revolves around a single high school guy. I forget his blasted name, but he has one of the oddest curses in the world.
His name is Kanade Amakusa.
Yes, that is it. But he has one of the oddest curses in the world. He's your typical ordinary high school boy, with the exception that every so often, or quite often, as the first episode indicates, he will suddenly have this like deity or something suddenly will force him into a multiple choice situation where 2 choices will pop up in his head or outlined in something that he can visually see, and he has to pick one of the 2 choices and do them, otherwise he will suffer terribly excruciating pain until he does one of the choices. And none of the time are these choices ever anything good. Like, because the very first time you see this, he's walking along and somehow a porno magazine has blown into a children's playground. It's early in the morning, the playground has no one on it right now, but at first he's like debating, like, should I go over there and pick it up and look at it? And then suddenly the wind blows, you open it, it opens up, yes, I can see without actually having to go over there, and suddenly, boom! Choice! He must either A, go over to the magazine, pick it up, and bury his face in it and smell it, or he must eat it. These are the kind of choices that will constantly pop up in his head, and if he doesn't do them, he suffers terrible pain until he finally does one of them. And
How was he cursed?
it doesn't explain. It's something that's just how he's been for like a long time.
Like this random ass genie thing comes out and says like, "Ho ho, you must choose."
It's just a random choice thing, and the first episode closes with either him seeing this big message in the sky. He either has to choose for a hot chick to fall on top of him from the heavens, or his terribly ugly next door neighbor fall out of the heavens on top of him. And he's like, well, the laws of physics don't really apply to these choices. My ugly next door neighbor would kill me if she fell on me, so we're gonna go with the hot chick. And then this hot chick by the name of Chocolat falls on top of him from the heavens.
What?
And she's not a chocolate lolly either, so don't get your hopes up, Spider.
She could be chocolate.
Oh.
But
Can I just pretend?
you can pretend.
Give it a lick. It tastes just like raisins.
Oh my. But It's never explained how this choice system came about, but because of it, he's regarded as a pervert and a weirdo at school. Because he'll just be having normal conversation with people, and then suddenly he'll have a choice to make on something. And it results in some very awkward and some strange situations, but the humor was there. It was hilarious. And the series is supposed to revolve around him trying to find a way to break the curse so he can start leading a normal life. And I've seen a few scenes here and there from later on in the series, and I honestly can't wait to sit down and finish this. It was absolutely hilarious. And you just never really know what is going to happen or when these choices are suddenly going to pop up. So, yeah, it's my number 3 wildcard pick for outright sheer insanity.
Tell us about the Reject 5 and the Popular 5.
The Popular 5 has not come up yet for me because I've only seen the first episode, but the Reject 5, so far only 3 of them have been introduced, and that is the main character, some other girl who is on the slightly weird side because she makes puns that makes absolutely no sense, and one of the few people that's actually willing to talk to Kaneda. And then you have this other girl who's apparently the daughter of some CEO of some big cosmetics company, and she smuggles all kinds of stuff into the school to sell the high school students, and some of it they shouldn't. And her character hasn't been entirely established. All I know is she climbed into the second-story window for her first appearance because she'd have been stopped at the front door and all her stuff taken. She'd have went through the front door. That's all I've got on her so far, but so far that's all I really have on those characters. So yes.
So a lot of girls and what? No weird guys?
Well, so far only one weird guy and just the 2 weird girls.
Well, the one weird guy has a weird ass curse.
That has a very weird curse, which pretty much is the selling point of the series.
I'll have to check that one out later.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
Huh. Interesting. I just realized we have been going for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and I only have another hour before I have to leave so I can go to work. And as much as I'd love to sit there and talk so much about our individual things, we're going to have to hurry this along a little bit.
All right, maybe cut it down to 3. Let's cut it down to 3.
3 sounds good to me.
Or just not talk about each one for so long.
I like that.
So, yes.
All right, so for my last one that I'm going to say for wild card, I'm choose... Hold on. Cuticle Detective Inaba.
I watched a little bit of that one.
Yes. I chose Cuticle Detective Inaba. It is a comedy series about a some kind of werewolf hybrid named Hiroshi Inaba, who has one of the strangest fetishes, and let me emphasize this. This is an anime character which I believe to have one of the strangest fetishes, and this is coming from me, which reviewed an anime with a guy who had a... Oh, God, so many weird fetishes. But anyways, he has a hair fetish.
Ew.
Not like that. Well, maybe, but I don't know. But he has the ability he's half werewolf, where he can bite into a piece of hair and then gain power depending on what the hair's color is. But it's totally off the wall bonkers. But the best part about it is the villain of the family, who is a mafia boss named Don Valentino, who is a goat.
A tiny goat.
A tiny little goat with a cute cape.
And apparently can't die from being shot in the head.
Several times. But yeah, even though this series came from the hated studio... Oh, wait, no. This is a different one. Never mind. I thought it was from Xpex, but it's from Zex's? I don't know that one as much. But yeah, this is
Wait,
very...
Zex, as in Zex Marquise. My God.
My God. Oh my.
I thought I was done with Gundam Wing.
You're never done with Gundam Wing.
I'm never.
I'm not done with Gundam Wing. Anyways, so I felt this series deserved to be on the list because of its off-the-wall humor, its hilarious comedy, and just overall a fun anime to watch.
Awesome. Spider, you?
My fourth pick is Arata. Ah, crap! I can't even pronounce this. Aratakangatari, whatever. Okay, basically this kid's like, oh, I hate my life, I'm getting bullied, and then he sees his friends like, oh, this guy sucks, I hate this guy, and he's like, oh, I hate this, I wish I could go somewhere, and then in another world, in another time, in another place, there's this guy, and he's like some sort of shaman dude, and he dresses up as a girl, and then he like has to go up to do some ceremony thing dressed up as a girl, then the princess gets murdered by her bodyguards or something, and he's the only witness, and they frame him for that, so he runs into this forest, and the other guy in the other world's like, oh, I hate my life, and then suddenly, they change places.
Alt world genre.
And they both have the same name, by the way.
Wee woo!
Yes,
Anyways.
and the name is pronounced Arata.
Arata Kangatari.
Right. Anyways, this...
Arutakacha, Arutakacha. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Lol.
Oh, God. But I chose this series because it actually surprised me in how good it was, but it wasn't good enough to really end up... It fluctuated. It really wasn't good enough to end up on my good list. It surprised me because I was expecting... I don't know what I was expecting when I was getting into this, honestly, but it wasn't this. It's pretty generic here and there. Like, Arata is the only one who does anything. He can summon, like, super magical swords, and there's, like, a few other of those, but it's pretty generic. But it really does get into his character and how bad society can pressure people sometimes, and how bad bullying can really affect someone. And yes, it is essentially, oh, don't bully people, PSA, but it was done well, and it does show the issues with that, because he's very reclusive and very, very not confident, and learns to overcome that. But it was still pretty generic shonen
Yeah,
stuff.
I watched a few episodes of this one, and it was like, that so-called, like, quote-unquote friend of his, that I thought, too, like, he was, like, bullying him or something. At least that's what it seems like. What was his name? Masato Kadowaki?
I only got
Something
to the
like
first
that.
episode of it.
But it's just like, what is this guy's problem?
You want to know what his problem was?
Something about him not being on a track team or something?
No, he beat him in a race one time. That was his issue.
That Arata beat him in a race.
No.
Yeah.
That one, he beat him in a race. Like, he thought he was coddling him, and don't fucking coddle me! And then he became the demons.
So wait,
Arata...
Masato beat Arata in a race?
Yes. Or, was it? It's been a while since I've watched this, but I
Hold
think
on,
that
hold
was
on.
it, yeah.
Former friend, when they were both on the track team in high school, he and Hiroshi have the same class. He hates her because he believes Arata looks... He hates Arata because he believes he looks down upon him, and yeah.
That was it, yes.
Yeah, Arata actually, it didn't end up in the top 5, but it actually ended up in my bad list. I just didn't enjoy it. Everything felt horribly forced against the main character, and just didn't feel right for me.
Well, I guess it plays into the, society pressuring people. Like, if you felt like the character was pressured into something, then I'd say the anime did its job.
So, yeah, well, I mean, again, it can all change depending on if I watched more of it or not. Because this is only got through the first episode.
That's fine. All right, shall we move on? Or was there any other
I had two more on my wild card list as far as like the top 5. One of them I'm not gonna talk about because you don't watch this, you experience it, and that's Kill la Kill.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you don't watch this, you experience it. The only thing I will say about it was very reminiscent. The animation style was very reminiscent of the movie Dead Leaves, which I also thoroughly enjoyed. I loved Kill la Kill. It just was probably the most outrageous of all the stuff on my list. But, again, I don't really want to say anything else about it. The one I do want to say something about, though, was my number 1 wildcard pick, and that was Aku no Hana.
Oh, boy.
Flower of Evil.
Oh, yeah.
Holy fuck.
This one, the one thing I will say is that the backgrounds were very detailed and well drawn. The characters...
You want to know why? You want to know why it was well drawn?
Why is that?
It was all rotoscoped animation. You know Snow White from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, how she kind of had that weird type of animation to her? Mm-hmm. That's because the people, and they did the same thing with this Flower of Evil anime, is that they hand drew over
live action
actual actors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really weird. And this was my number 1, actually. It was really fucking weird and experimental, and it was really fucking creepy, and I didn't know what to make of it.
I mean, it's at first, I mean, it was just very, very, boring, but at the same time, because of the reason that it was kind of boring to watch, I was so intrigued, because it's not like some stuff where it was trying so hard to be funny, but the jokes were failing. It was...
just the everyday life of these weirdly drawn people.
Yeah,
and the attempted rape.
Oh yeah,
kind of. I've only watched the first episode of this, so I'm just very, very intrigued. And of the stuff on my wild card list, it's the one that got my attention the most.
I'm actually considering I'm gonna do another list of horror anime, and I think this one might make the list.
And that ending theme, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my god.
I'm eventually going to get around to finishing this one for sure.
Oh my god, that ending theme was like nightmare fuel.
But yeah, that's really all I've got to say about my wild card list.
I agree with you there. That was going to be my number 1 too. And it was also produced by Zexus. The Flowers of Evil.
In a world where gardeners are extinct.
So next up, we're moving on. Well, I was going to take music breaks between, but because we only have an hour left of the show, or not even that now, I'm going to pretty much cut out music breaks for the night because we just won't have time to cover everything we have if we do.
Oh boy.
All right, so we're gonna trudge right along into our bad list.
You guys, I will be right back, and you guys can talk about the bad list all you want. Just skip my turns, because I've only got one, and this just needs to be talked about, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Righto. So, my number 5 pick, I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just... it's pretty much the exact opposite of what I had just talked about. The show was boring, but it was because they were trying to have that outrageous kind of humor, but it was all just failing horribly. And that is Mega Nebu.
Mega Nebu.
It's about these group of high school students who have a glasses fetish. So they form a glasses club at their school, and like the whole first episode is them trying to build a pair of X-ray glasses so they can see women naked in public and them not realize they're being looked at. But the characters weren't likable. All the jokes just fell completely flat. And it was a convoluted mess of just boredom.
And this was a Studio Dean production. Come on, guys.
It was nicely animated. It looked nice, but it was just, no. It was boring. And as a comedy, that's like the biggest thing you can do wrong, is for all your jokes to fail. But that's all I really have to say about that one. Just don't waste your time on it.
Okay. My number 5 bad one, and this is not bad so much in the sense that it is like necessarily bad, More is like it's number 5 because it was a disappointing anime. And that anime for me was Mayu Mayu
Mao Yusha.
Mao Yusha. I had such high expectations for this anime when I saw the trailers and I read the synopsis about this. Such high expectations for this. I mean, like, the art style reminded me so much of Spice and Wolf. And I guess it was my fault for, like, going into it thinking, like, this would be almost like Spice and Wolf. But the main problem, and it could have been. That's the frustrating thing. This anime could have been great, but the major problem with it is the time skip between episodes. It's like, for example, like a problem arises near the end of one episode. Like, we need to figure out a way how to teach people agriculture. Okay. So now the next episode we're gonna maybe like look at like how they're gonna like come around like the concept of agriculture and go beyond like a hunter-gatherer society and into agriculture. Nope. We're gonna skip all that interesting stuff and just skip right on ahead to like, oh, we have solved agriculture.
Oh, you're talking about Maoyo?
Yes.
This was really good. I don't know what you're talking about. This was really good.
I'm not saying it was bad in the sense that it was bad. I really think that this could have been really good. But the time skipping between episodes really made this a disappointing anime for me.
I loved it. Honestly.
It is good. It is really good, but the time skip is just too distracting. I felt like this anime could have gone a lot longer. And develop these characters. Like, character development arcs are like it's like bullet points.
I'd have to agree. This series made it onto my bad list, not into my top 5. I had other stuff that I think was far more deserving of these spots than this.
Yeah.
But again, I only watched the first episode of it, and I see all this potential that you talk about. But in the first episode, the characters, the way the two main characters interact with one another, it just doesn't hook me. It just seems like so far removed from what their personalities should be, considering their positions.
It felt an awful lot, honestly, like, to me it felt like basically like an AD&D module that someone forgot to name all the NPCs for.
Hero and the Demon King.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they don't get names. They just get names like Hero, Demon King, Archer, Sorcerer.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, by the way, for those listening, just joining us, or I just came back, I am now broadcasting from my brand spanking new microphone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. But if I were have to say, like, an anime that I felt like was a real bad one, is another comedy one called Scissors X Scissors.
Scissors X Scissors?
What?
Goddamn, where is that one?
Dog X Scissors?
Yeah, that's it.
That one made it onto my wild card because I didn't know what to think of it yet.
Did you say Dog Scissors?
Dog X Scissors.
Dog X Scissors, or Dog and Scissors. This one made it onto my bad list because just like what you were saying, Vegeta, about that glasses anime, this anime, the comedy just fell right through the floor for me. There was like nothing to, like, the comedy was trying like so hard to be kind of like dark and humorous, but it either like didn't go far enough with the dark humor or it went too far. It's like about this guy. The basic premise of the story is about this guy, Kazuhito Haruhime, who dies from saving this girl from being killed by some random, I don't know, robber or whatever. And the one thing that he regrets before he dies is that he didn't get to read all the books that he wanted to read.
He was a huge time book nerd. This is one of those, I got to watch the first episode and threw it on my wild card because I thought it was kind of funny, but I didn't know really what to think of it because the humor wasn't outrageous and it looked like it was going to have some kind of coherent story. I just couldn't, again, pass judgment on it just yet from one episode.
Yeah, I didn't like the humor at all. It just didn't really feel... It's like, I cannot accept a person... The main reason why I don't like the humor is because of the main girl, Kirihime Natsuno, who... basically Kazuhito gets resurrected as a dachshund, a wiener dog. And he gets adopted by Kirihime, who is the girl that he saved, who's also the author of one of his favorite book series. And she buys him to torture him.
Oh, and she can read his thoughts.
Because
Reasons.
I saved your life.
Because reasons.
Yeah, we're just gonna go with reasons.
Because of raisins.
Oh yes, raisins. We love raisins. I love raisins.
Taste just
Raisins.
So yeah, that was my 4 pick for bad anime. How about you, Spider?
Are you you guys are all done with the worst anime your whole lists for bad?
Because I think
Oh, no.
he said he only had one.
I only have one.
Oh, you
Right.
only have one. All right. Vegeta.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about number 4 and 3 at the same time because they're both for pretty much the same reasons, and that is Arpeggio of Blue Steel and Ginga Kikotai Majestic Prince.
Whoa, back up. What?
Yes,
These are both excellence here. What?
they are both bland, boring. The characters are unlikable. They're too predictable. The animation is terrible.
You know
was the
what,
second one
Vegeta?
What'd you say, manga?
What was the second one called?
Ginga Kikotai Majestic Prince.
Ah.
Oh,
all
wait,
right.
Majestic Prince. I haven't finished. I thought you said something completely different.
No.
I watched that, and I am on the fence about it, but the other one is excellent. I don't know what you're talking
What,
about.
Arpeggio of Blue Steel? It looks like it was animated on a PlayStation 2, on a PlayStation 1 graphics engine. That's what that looks like.
Well, how else are they gonna do, like, the friggin', like, the whole cool...
Oh, I
big
don't know.
boats
Maybe
and stuff?
traditional animation with some CGI thrown in?
But that's expensive. It's expensive.
Yes, but
Vegeta.
the one of the big problems is the story made absolutely no sense. Second of all, the characters' lip movements were not synchronized with what they were saying. It's like,
And this is Japanese.
yes, it's. I couldn't stand it. It was boring, bland, too predictable, and with Majestic Prince, pretty much one particular scene made me realize how bad this was going to be. And that was, right there at the very beginning of the series, you have a meeting between different military leaders, and 3 of them, I kid you not, were the exact same character model with different colored hair.
That's unexcusable.
Just absolutely not. No.
Shameful display.
And then you hand this group of this elite set of mecha off to these like trainee students who have already been proven to be the worst in their class, and for no explained reason. No. I'm sorry. I've seen this story before a million times. It's been going on for like 40 years now. So no, we've seen this a million times before. Just stop. But yeah, those are my number 3, 4, and number 3.
Oh, I remember Majestic Prince now.
It took me a second. I thought you was talking about something completely different.
Oh, yeah. You know, looking back at it, I didn't know what to think of it when I first saw Majestic Prince. I just kind of felt like, yeah. Yeah, let me see.
And my number 2 and number 1 are going to be the same deal. I'm going to have to talk about both of them at the same time. So, by all means, MangaMan, go ahead.
All right. Let me just... I'm gonna go with Love Live School Idol Project for my next one.
It's another one I did not get around to watching at all.
Love Live School Idol Project had basically a huge like build up to it in Japan. They created manga, CDs, the actual voice actresses becoming idols becoming, well, they might have been idols to begin with, but the idols themselves, and like doing live performance stage shows, all leading up to this anime that was being done by, oh, who was it? Love Live. There you are. The Sunrise. It was being done by Sunrise Studios, the guys behind Gundam.
And just about everything else under the sun, quote unquote.
And it was also being like the head of like the magazine company, Dengeki G's magazine, and the head of the music industry. It was like big top dogs of Japan like coming together to create this anime. And it's essentially, and the anime is essentially save our schools because school is good and school is cool.
How about no?
It's about this girl. It's about this girl who decides. It's about this girl who discovers that her school is going to be closing down because they don't have enough funds to support it anymore, and but she's going to be in the clear. She's going to be able to graduate and whatnot. But she still feels sad about this, and she wants to find a way. How could she get enough money to save the school? Why? Make a girls' idol group, of course. Instead of, regular things that people might do, like bake sales or charity drives or anything else. I mean, that was your first pick?
Nope. She has my philosophy. Go big or go home.
I like this girl.
Only she kind of went the wrong kind of big.
The animation and the animation is good. The music, if you're into it, is pretty okay. My other anime that I want to talk about for the bad list is Senran Kagura. This anime is based off of a game series done by Marvelous AQL. And basically, it is Mighty Morphin Big Booby Power Ranger Ninja Girls.
Oh.
I watched it and I thoroughly enjoyed it, but only because I wanted to watch it for the boobs.
Yeah, that is the sole reason that you... That is one of the sole reasons that you watch this anime. I was almost going to say that the humor wasn't that good until one scene in particular where, like, the first scene, like, one of the girls, like, brings in these, like, sushi rolls or whatever. And, like, they of course, like, start eating them very suggestively. You got this long, phallic, symbol-y thing, and they start licking it and nibbling on it. And then putting the whole damn thing in their mouth. But then what was funny is that then after that, their male teacher then came in and they do the exact same fan service-y thing, but with him. So
I have seen that scene somewhere.
It's like, okay, so they're willing to mock themselves. So I'll give the anime that. But who did I have as worst? I'm just kind of scrolling through the bad list video, which, by the way,
The one with the flattest chest was the worst. Thank you.
The one with the widest. Oh, now I remember. Wait, who was it? Oh yes, I remember now. My worst anime of the year that I have to decide on would have to be... And let me just check to see if this counts. Yes, it does. High School DxD.
Another one I did not get around to watching.
High School DxD. Started off as a light novel, then had 2 manga series, followed by a 12 plus 6 episode OVA series. then an original animation, then another manga, then another animation, and finally it came out in July of 2013. High School DxD New. I'm counting it because I feel that this anime is worthless. This anime, and I talked about this in my anime of 2012 reviews, but this deserves everything that is coming to it. This anime is the worst example of fan service in that it has no sense of holding itself back on anything. Any chance that this anime gets, it will throw in fan service for no discernible reason, even if the series is trying to be even if it's in a serious moment, it'll throw in a panty shot, or it will throw in bare-chested breasts.
Why?
Why? Because for the sake of fan service, it's like to put it in perspective. Kill la Kill, yes, has fan service in it, but it is the type of. But I believe Kill la Kill does a good job with its fan service in that the fan service in Kill la Kill doesn't completely distract from the action. Yes, it can be a little bit distracted to some people, though to myself, I found that the fan service in Kill la Kill didn't distract from any of the action, didn't distract from any of the plot. It was just there kind of like as a set piece. Whereas with High School DxD, the fan service in that is full on display. It's like the story doesn't even matter. It's all about the fan service.
Sort of like Kiss X Sis.
Yes.
Oh my god.
You
Please.
remember that one, don't you, Spider?
No, I don't want to remember. I don't want to remember. Oh god.
Yeah, we're not going to go into that one again.
All that pee. Oh my god.
That pee? Oh god.
Yeah, just trust me, don't ask questions, just understand that Spider's reaction is well understood.
Right, now I gotta review it.
Oh dear.
Vegeta, go.
Okay. Now understand, my picks for the number 2 and number 1 spot for the bad enemy of the year all come down to my own personal taste. These two were absolutely painful for me to sit through. One of them, I didn't even make it through the first episode. The number 2 spot goes to Diabolic Lovers. With the number 1 spot going to Brothers Conflict.
Brother!
Diabolic Conflict is like Twilight if Twilight were a legitimate harem. And the vampires were actually willing to suck blood. That's Diabolic Lovers in a nutshell. Brothers Conflict is absolutely disgusting. And it's you have a girl who it's never really made clear. Again, I watched like 12 minutes of the first episode and was so turned off by it I had to stop. I felt my heart turning to stone. I was cringing at every moment of it. You have this girl who I guess she was one of her parents. It doesn't ever clear made clear whose child she was, but one of the parents got remarried, and now she's having to go live with her 13 stepbrothers. And
how do you?
I don't know. And it's obvious it's a reverse harem situation. And it's just no, because all 13 of the brothers are pretty much every single male stereotype you can imagine. You have
every single dirty female fantasy.
And it's just... It was absolutely... I mean, and they were all, of course, bland and boring. It was like pretty much... They had the stereotype, that was it. That was all they had going for them. Otherwise, they were all the same character. And it was... And for some reason, the chick had a squirrel that could talk. She was the only one who could understand it. there was no magic, no sci-fi, but the squirrel could talk, and she was the only one who could hear it.
Maybe it was in her head all along.
No, because you have scenes where the squirrel is with the guys, and it's talking. She's not even in the same room. But all they hear are its squeaks, and this whole squirrel thing is to protect her from all the evil men that she's around, and my god, he was annoying.
Is the squirrel a boy or a girl?
It's a boy.
He's just protecting his nut stash.
At least that joke is the one redeeming quality the series now has. But, yeah. That's my number one pick for the worst anime this year. Spider, take it away.
Alright. I would just like to say, I don't even know if this anime came out this year or not, but I'm pretty sure it did. And even if it didn't, I'm talking about it anyways, because this series just made me angry. The runner-up for worst anime series is Amnesia, because that series I thought was good, and I watched the whole 13 episodes for a little bit, and then it turned out the ending was bullshit, and it was awful, and the best guy didn't win that. But this one just takes the cake, and I don't know if any of you have watched this because reasons, but this one, the worst one of this series, this year. This is probably one of the worst I've ever watched ever, is Valrave the Liberator.
Oh, really?
Who here is familiar with Valrave the Liberator?
I've seen a couple of the anime episodes, yeah.
I've got it. I have not watched it yet.
You've seen a few episodes? Just watch them all and then come back to me. Okay.
Is this the one? Hold on. Just let me say right here. Is this the one with the vampire powers?
Yes.
Okay, yep, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the year is like 12,000 XXX or whatever, and then the world is divided between like the free states or the free planets, and it's pretty much the setup to Legend of Galactic Heroes. And then all of a sudden they've got this like super neutral Switzerland in space, and all of a sudden the fucking space Nazis come up and it's like, oh, fuck you, we're gonna take your shit. And then they send in a team of guys and they just kill people, and they're so fucking edgy and they're fucking awesome. And then all of a sudden there's this one kid and he's totally beta, and it's just total beta yutz, just a fool, just an idiot, and he has like this one hot chick just riding up on his dick, and they're like the childhood friends or some shit. And then all of a sudden, oh no, I gotta stop the fucking space Nazis, even though they're fucking white or whatever. So he finds a giant robot directly beneath his school in space, and then he goes up into the fucking giant robot and says, oh, are you sure you don't want to be human anymore? And it's like, yeah, I don't mind not being human anymore. And then it like shoots himself in the neck or something, and then the giant robot just flies out and starts fucking shit up left and right. Space Nazis are dying everywhere. They are like screaming on the overcoms. Like they look like little TIE fighters, and they're just getting their shit wrecked. And then in the confusion, his like friend, or his like best friend that he was going to confess to, gets crushed underneath a bunch of rubble. And then he lands, and all the space Nazis are gone. He's like, oh god, what have I fucking done? Everything's awful. And then the other guy, who's like this guy, L-Elf or something. It was L-Elf, right? Yeah, it was L-Elf. He comes up and he's like, oh, fuck you, I'm taking this robot. And he shoots him, and he's about to get in the robot when all of a sudden Hakuro, I think his name was, comes back to life, and he is a vampire. So he comes up and he just starts like killing L-Elf, and then stuff happens, and then they get this great idea to form their own independent nation in the school. They take out the section of the satellite they were on, and they like declare their own independence, and they have like a democratically elected system where they designate a prime minister, and the prime minister they make is the daughter of the prime minister herself, who is apparently his girlfriend, who didn't actually get crushed. And then oh fuck, what happens next? So they make their own place, and they have this really shitty, like they post this, they have this really shitty musical number, and it's like, you are my hero, I am your hero, something like that, and it was all in English, and it was fucking horrible. And then like he becomes like a fucking national hero on 2chan or something. He literally goes from zero to fucking hero. He becomes like Superman or Batman. He's like, oh, it gets lots of fucking fan mail, and everyone on Nico Nico Duga and 2chan is like, oh, he's so fucking awesome, I want to fuck him, please take my virginity. And then, like, a bunch of shit happens, and then, like, this one retarded jock gets a giant robot, and then another guy who was completely bland, and his only redeeming feature is, or his only feature period is that his fucking girlfriend died, and he started angsting over it, and it was blue, and then he gets a fucking robot, and then there's this one girl who's super fucking popular, and she's so fucking popular that he loses control and he rapes her, and then she gets a giant robot, and then they go out, and then they fight, and there's this one last giant robot, and it turns out, like, this entire school is a breeding ground for pilots for giant robots, and the entire system is to, like, breed them to make giant robots. And then she gets a giant robot, and then this one shut-in. Like, the entire fucking time, they're building up that it's gonna be Elf who gets the final giant robot. But no, it's this one shut-in. It's this one stupid shut-in who only gets, like, 20 minutes of screen time tops. He's just one Hikikomori who, like, shuts herself in and, like, she doesn't even have a home. She just fucking makes a nest out of chairs and desks in the fucking school. In the fucking school, and no one calls her out on this shit, and apparently she's been doing this for years, and she's the one who gets the last giant robot. And then they all go to the fucking, they all just fucking break everything, and then the whole school just starts falling, and then Vampire Illuminati in giant robots. This series made me so mad. And that was Valrape.
Well done.
That was the greatest anime synopsis I have ever heard performed by anyone.
I am totally gonna have to, like, cut that bit out and post it up on our YouTube channel.
Yes. Yeah. Post it up on my YouTube channel as well.
Oh my god. And you know what else? It got a fucking second season. It got two seasons. Yeah. And I haven't watched the second one yet.
Hold on, I want to say one thing. Hello, this is Code Geass. I think you stole our series.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
I'm actually going to say that I kind of liked it when it came out.
I thought it was so good. It was so bad. It was so pants-on-head retarded that it ripped through the crotch and started helicopter dicking straight into traffic.
Helicopter dick, helicopter dick, helicopter dick.
One of our primary English learners is saying, can you please post that rant all over the internet?
Vegeta, you gotta give me this after the show or on Wednesday.
I'll send you this. I'll send you this episode this week, dude, and some other ones too.
Because I want to then edit his entire rant with scenes from the anime and post it on my Flip TV account.
I'm all for it, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Do it.
We've got like 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Good anime.
Good anime. Our top fives. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna start off. Gene o Kakeru Taiyo, because it's magical girls, but it's not really just magical girls. It's like there's blood and there's like consequence because they realize they have to kill people to save the world, and it's awesome.
Oh, hi. We are totally not Madoka Magica.
I don't get to watch Magical Girl series too often, so I'm not used to this kind of thing, so I found it very awesome. And there were tarot cards and demons and killing people, yes. Okay, someone else go.
All right, for me, Silver Spoon. It's, like I always like to say, there's an anime out there for anyone. And this anime is about a guy who goes to a agriculture or a school to learn about farming. And I actually found it really interesting to like learn about how like a Japanese culture, like with their agriculture, because they're like basically an island nation, kind of a lot bigger than Hawaii, but not as big as Australia. The characters are very likable. It's a nice slice of life series. And overall, and it's also one of the few anime series where it has one of the best fat girls I've ever seen in an anime.
Oh, flat bottom girls.
Oh, okay. Black Betty, bam, lamb.
Oh, Black Betty. All right,
Spider, go.
my turn. My favorite, like my fifth, was Doki Doki Pretty Cure. It's basically just like, you know, your average setup Pretty Cure. There's just one chick, and she's really cool, and then all of a sudden, monsters attack, and she becomes a Pretty Cure. And I love Pretty Cure. I've watched just about every Pretty Cure series to near completion. I really like Pretty Cure, and I have no idea why. And this one is really great. And that's all. It's Pretty Cure. Just go watch it. It really is good.
I gotta watch Pretty Cure. Okay, Vegeta, go.
Number 4 for me, you knew it was coming. You knew it was going to be on somebody's good list. Probably not as low as it is on mine, but we have Attack on Titan.
Are you a prey or are you the hunter?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. The music was phenomenal. It's number 4 because, well, it was great, but at the same time, to me, there's some missed opportunities. The characters were not as good as they could have been. The action scenes were well done. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but to me, this series isn't going to be as good as what a lot of people have hyped it up to be.
It's number 3 on my list.
Oh, well, awesome. So, yeah. Again, you knew it was going to happen. I mean, it's definitely good. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Everyone knows about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. Again, it's probably the most popular anime this year overall. So, yeah. So, MangaMan, you're number 4. Take it away.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Hajime no Ippo Rising.
Even though it's like a 3rd season.
I know, but still, it was most anticipated season. Me and my brother have been watching Hajime no Ippo. Even though I wouldn't say it's the story is as good as the best boxing anime of all time, Tomorrow's Joe, which thank you again, Spider, for sending me that link.
No problem.
But still, it is a very fun series, very gorgeous, good animation, and very funny characters.
All right, my number 3 then?
Yeah, 4.
4, right. Mine is Arpeggio of Blue Steel, Ars Nova. I don't know why Vegeta didn't like this. It's all animated in CG, and it's kind of weird. All of the characters are well, not all the characters, but the main cast are like boats, essentially, and they're all female because we call boats female because reasons. And it has really, really intense and cool and clever, fucking really, really good fights. These fights are legitimately interesting and intense, and it's really good. Go watch it. Vegeta didn't like it, but I liked it. Go watch it.
Okay, then. Right, we have our difference of opinion. I didn't like the way it was animated, but, you know, we have our difference of opinion, and I think you're wrong, but I respect your opinion to your ability to be wrong. So,
whatever.
My number 3, MangaMan knows that he paid it on his good list back in January. My number 3 pick was Kotora-san.
Yeah!
I like this, and again, just like what we talked about earlier, about a character that's, well, down on their luck. Everything seems to be going wrong. The girl has ESP, but she can't control it. She constantly hears everyone's thoughts around her, and as a child, she doesn't understand that she's hearing their thoughts and not what they're actually saying, and it took her a long time to be able to understand that that's what was going on. So, she ends up losing a lot of friends. Her own family turns against her, and by the time she's in high school, she's literally living completely alone and has become so dejected from society around her that she just instantly just chooses to respond to what people are thinking about her, because just to go ahead and get them out of the way, out of her life, so she doesn't have to deal with trying to trust them and then losing them later on. And I liked it. I'm like, holy crap. I sympathize with this character. I love this girl. Oh, she's so, And then she makes one friend who would probably be like the person who's like me, because she reads his thought by accident, and it's just so outright goofy.
Purple men in a desert dancing.
And I get on one thing, Steve, I will elaborate on that. I love his character, because once he realizes that she has this and she can't turn it off, and he's trying to tell her despite this, he wants to be her friend. I love how he gets her attention. She's trying to just walk away, and He's like, I will not let this end like this. And Sun just imagines her naked, all making out with him, and she just stops dead in her tracks, like, oh, why would you do this to me?
This anime is the perfect blend of both very good drama and very great comedy. This anime series made it all the way up to my number 2 spot. Or maybe even my number 1. I'm still trying to like juggle and decide like which one I like better, but god damn, this series is great and I want them to make another season.
And I'm definitely going to finish this. You know, hands down, I'm gonna finish this one. So, yeah, so, bam. We already know you're number 3, MangaMan. We've already talked about Attack on Titan. Anything else you want to say about it before we go on to Spider?
Okay, Attack on Titan. I first got into it with the manga. The manga is great. The anime is just as good, if not even better. One thing I will say that there is an interesting thing, a difference between the manga and the anime. In the anime goes from half of the first volume, and then it skips several volumes up all the way to, I think, number 5, and then goes to that storyline. Then it goes back to the material that it skipped before. So, kind of a little bit, like, out of order, but it works. But yeah, let's see. Okay, it's a tie between, like, what is my number 1 best anime? Well, okay, my number 2 are...
What about me?
Okay, all right, you go first and then I'll go.
Shinkeki no Kyojin, that was really good. That's my number 3. Annie is best girl. Moving on.
Righto. Okay, so my number 2 pick, I've heard it doesn't maintain its consistency and it's not quite as good later on because there's not a lot of development, but what I have watched so far, Coppelion takes my number 2 spot. I've heard it doesn't stay as good as it is, and so far from what I've seen, I don't know, it hasn't been explained yet because I've only watched the first couple of episodes, but so far from what I can tell, I think it's Tokyo or some other really huge city in Japan has practically been nuked or something, but something has happened to it, and just normal people cannot survive there without wearing these hazmat suits, and even in certain areas of the city, they still can't survive with
Damn
the
it, what's it
hazmat
called?
suits.
What is it called?
Coppelion. I already said the name.
Coppelion?
Coppelion.
Coppelion.
Or Coppelion. Something. I don't
Coppelion.
know.
Oh, Coppelion.
Coppelion.
Now, and it's the story centers around these 3 girls who are. They refer to themselves sometimes as living dolls. They're genetic recreations of people, but their immune system, there's something different about them where they can survive in these extremely harsh environments without hazmat suits, without any kind of special support of any kind, and they go into this city to look for survivors, because apparently they're getting SOS signals from the city, so they're sent into the city to look for survivors. And there's not a lot I can say about it because I don't know how it's supposed to turn out yet, because I haven't watched it. I've only heard that it doesn't stay as good, but I love the characters, I love the setting, I love the premise. I think it's overall very well done, and I'm definitely going to finish it, and you guys should totally check it out, too, if you haven't yet.
All right, we'll do.
I have the last 2 episodes downloaded on my hard drive, and I'm going to watch them tonight, actually.
Yay. Okay. You go.
We had 2, like, the same numbers, like, back-to-back MangaMan, so...
I know. Okay, then I'll say a couple of them that... Okay. One of my alternative number 2 and 3, since they were taken from me, is Magi, or Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic. This anime series delves deep into the lore of the Arabian Nights, and is one of the first animes that I think to do so, aside from like Osamu Tezuka's Cleopatra. But that was more Egyptian, and this is more Arabic. But still, a great shonen series. Great concepts. Love the character designs. The humor is cute. I like the humor. It's very cute. I like it a lot. And I don't know which one is my favorite. Go, Spider, go.
Susui no Gargantula is my top.
Oh,
number second.
Gargantia?
Gargantia.
What about
yeah.
your number 2 pick?
That was my number 2 pick.
Oh, I thought you said that was your number 1.
No. Oh, my number 1
Oh,
is
yes.
Okay.
I was considering this to be my number 1, Gargantia.
That's one of the ones I never got around to watching.
It is so good. Spire, do you want to explain it?
Sosuina Gargantua, yeah. This guy, he's got like a giant robot, and it's really cool, and he's fighting out giant bugs in space. And then they have to retreat because reasons. And then when he's going on the retreat, he suddenly gets launched distantly, and by some random twist of fate lands up on Earth, which is entirely covered in water, and everyone is chocolate. Like, everyone has really dark skin now, and I liked that because that's one of my fetishes.
Actually,
And,
mine too, yeah.
Chocolate lollies.
Yeah.
Hey, they're delicious.
Nom nom nom. But and then
Okay, I'll take a...
yes.
And then,
But I also
Okay.
have another one that takes the second spot.
ooh.
What is it?
It is Log Horizon.
Ah.
Log Horizon, in premise, sounds an awful lot like, what was it? Sword Art Online, but this is actually a lot better. Basically, 40,000 some Japanese kids are trapped in a virtual reality game called Elder Tale, and the entirety of it revolves around trying to exploit the game system and learning how to do things within it and their new environment, trying to cope with it. One guy named Shiroi, and he has this cool tank guy, and he's a bro, and he has like a lolly assassin GF, and then he starts just like politicking it up, and he like holds people hostage and blackmails them and shit, and it's fucking awesome. Go watch it. I couldn't pick one because they're both really, really good.
I know it's so hard to choose. But what about you, Vijay? Did you pick a number 1?
I did manage to pick a number 1, and I haven't heard any of you guys mention it. Don't know if you have seen it or even heard of it, but the premise alone was enough for this to make it onto my good list. And with the fact that I loved it so much, made it pick my top spot, and that is Galilei Dona.
Hold on. Galilei?
Galilei Dona.
Ah.
What?
Galilei Dona.
And A1 pictures.
I really get the feeling that this was a Kirby's Air Ride track.
The story so far, apparently there's these 3 sisters who are actually descendants of the very famous Galileo. Yes, the same one, the inventor, the same guy who invented the telescope to look at the moon. That guy. And apparently there's some ancient treasure called Galileo's inheritance. And there's some secret organization that is willing to kill people to get to it. And so far, no one really knows what it is, but they know it's going to have some kind of hue because there are hints that it could have really huge impact on the way the world works. The 3 sisters are very unique, and their 2 parents are very unique. One of the sisters is some brilliant inventor. Another one is a law school student who is failing. Another one is still in high school, but is some who hates being around people, but loves martial arts. One father is not. He knows a bit about history, but is not the smartest person in the world, preferring brawn over brain. And their mother is some like historian who is absolutely brilliant. And I love this show. Giant goldfish spaceship with goldfish avatar with missiles, and I can't really even, but I fell in love with this series, and I will probably finish it in one sitting this weekend. I don't see much that really revolves around actual historical figures that much. You see stuff based on historical events, but not something like this too often. And
What about Lupin the Third?
Lupin the Third doesn't really count.
Lupin was a gentleman thief of France.
That
Okay.
actually had an anime this year. but it wasn't Lupin. It was like
Bakumatsu Gijin Denrome, and that ended up on my good list, just not in my top 5.
Same here.
But yeah, Galilei Dona, check it out. You'll love it. I promise. It was great. It was great stuff.
Okay, I guess it all comes down to me now. All right, what was the MangaMan's favorite? Yes. What was the MangaMan's favorite anime of this year? Honestly, it's kind of a cross between Attack on Titan, Kill la Kill, Gargantia was really great. Katoro-san was amazing. Magi is doing good as well. I just love anime. Okay, but if I would have to pick one, just to be like, just to put a wild card into the favorites list, I'll say Tanken Drilland.
What? Timekin Drilland.
No. Tanken Drilland.
Tamkin Drilland.
Tanken Drill Land.
Isn't that what I said?
I don't know what you said.
That's something.
It's a Toei Animation, the people behind Dragon Ball and One Piece. It's based, I think it's based, oh no, it is based off of manga, but it's a very nice anime. It's like, I always often wonder, like, what do the kids in Japan watch? I mean, like, do they watch, like, all these anime that come out? Or is there, like, some anime out there that are more directed towards them? Because, like, every time the new anime come out, I barely see any for, like, the kids there. Are they just watching Anpan Man all day long, or what? But then this anime came out. And I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but since we talked about all my other favorites already, and I feel kind of sad about not talking about this good anime. If you love the innocent and like fun qualities of Dragon Ball, this is definitely a very good anime for that. The characters are done kind of in this semi-chibi style, but still kind of cool at the same instance. It's kind of like Dragon Quest in its art style. And a little bit of a Final Fantasy element where you have 3 companions who have a princess who's a sword wielder, her butler who is a martial artist, a sniper that can't shoot anything worth crap. Is also my favorite character. And also, I think the last one was a magician, or no, it was a spear wielder. Yeah, a spear wielder. Or a dragoon.
I will most certainly have to check all these out. That sounds very interesting.
It's a fun little series. And I only mentioned it because all my favorites were already talked about.
Right. Well, that's good. I mean, there's certainly stuff on my good list I would love to sit there and talk about. And I'm sure we all have stuff like that we at least want to, mention.
Yes.
In fact, I still got a few minutes. Let's do that.
Okay.
I mean, we each have our favorites picked out. One I definitely wanted to mention. I so desperately wanted to put it in my top 5, but just couldn't quite do it because it was going to be for all the wrong reasons. That was Kiniro Mosaic. And the reason why, most of the time in an anime where a character goes to another country, the characters are all still speaking in Japanese.
Yeah.
But in this one, a student, like middle school girl, goes for a homestay in England. And all the characters are talking in English.
What?
Yeah! The character, she only knows like a couple of words in English. The mother and father she stays with, it's actually explained that they studied Japanese, so that's why they were going to take her on. Their daughter learns like 2 words in Japanese while the girl is staying there. But otherwise, while the mother and father are talking to each other, or while they're talking to their daughter, they're talking in English. When the girl shows up at the airport in England, everyone around her is talking in English.
Wait, in England?
They do this. In English. In England, English. I'm just looking through the cast right here.
I mean, they're all in you can tell that they're still Japanese talking.
Oh, yeah, they are.
English.
But the fact is, I'm like, it's effort! I don't ever see this, yay! And it was a lot of fun to watch, too. It was pretty cool. It was a lot of lighthearted humor, and I liked it. It was good. I think it was worth a mention. Anybody, you guys got something, like that you just want to mention?
Tokyo Ravens. That was really good. But it wasn't where it's like in my top 10, but it couldn't make it to the top 5.
Right.
Just couldn't make it. Great effort, though. It's like a kid goes to school for being a Shinto shaman. Like, it's not priest, but like pre-Shinto Reformation or whatever they had. Like Buddhist Japanese folklore type of shaman. And he goes to school and he learns a bunch of stuff like summoning a kawaii little fox girl thing that it's heavily implied he banged at one point.
Well then.
And yeah, that was a good show. But I haven't finished it yet. Good show.
I would like to mention Saint Seiya Omega.
Yeah.
I haven't watched too much of this.
I thought that came out like 2 years ago.
Hold on, let me check. Technically, the first season came out in 2012, but the second season, the New Cloth Saga, that is awesome, came out in April of 2013. And I just like to bring this up because from a standpoint in that this animation is done by renowned, directed by Mohori Hanato, as it is his series debut, but the animation character designs were done by legendary Yoshihiko Koshi, known for performing the same duties in Street Fighter Alpha, the animation, Heart Catch Pretty Cure, and Casshern Sins.
Well.
But not only that, it's the return of the original Saint Seiya theme song, Pegasus Fantasy. And it's so gloriously remastered. And it's done, and it's got the perfect title. It's Pegasus Fantasy versus Omega, or version Omega, performed by Makeup.
Nice. Very, very nice.
But guys, I'd just like to point out we've been running for
we've been running for almost 2 hours now.
Okay, my favorite series of the year was Kill La Kill.
I would have to kind of agree, even though I've only seen 3 episodes. I am really digging this series.
I love the animation style and the sheer craziness of it. It reminds me a lot of Dead Leaves.
This was done by Trigger, a brand new animation studio that pretty much got like all of their funding from Kickstarter. They are a bunch of guys from Studio Gainax. You know those crazy fuckers who did Neon Genesis Evangelion and Tengen Top
Gurren Lagann.
And Gurren Lagann.
Yep, that's where most of the people on this they left Gainax and released their first short film, which everyone should watch, and I think this counts, Little Witch Academy, which is a great 26-minute film. And, ooh, the second one came out. Ooh, I need to watch it. Oh, it's the winter of 2014. Damn it, I have to wait.
A long time.
Damn it. But Little Witch Academy is amazing. You should watch it and download it. But they also did animation for Idolmaster, Project Cross Zone, and, well, Kill la Kill. That's their major claims to fame after leaving Gainax.
Oh, man. And Kill la Kill, the plot is there is this one chick called Ryoko Matoi, and her dad is dead, and she is an orphan. And and she sets out to go find her dad's killer, and the only thing she has going for her to remember her father is one half of a giant pair of scissors.
Pair
Of scissors. So she goes up to this one chick called Satsuki, and she's like, "You fuck killed my father," and like, if you beat the entirety of, like, my school, who have these super enhanced uniforms that give them super strength and shit, I will tell you what happened to your father. And so she goes to start fighting all the various clubs and gets her ass beat thoroughly. And when she's crawling through the gutters, she goes to her old family house and then stumbles upon an outfit that talks. And it only talks when she pours blood on it. So she puts it on, and it gives her fucking superpowers, and it's really, really revealing, and it rides up her ass, and it's got like straps across her tits, and it is really fucking revealing, and everyone boners every time they see it. But it makes her kick ass, and she proceeds to just cut her way through the entirety of the school, all the way up through all these crazy fucking fights. And it is just amazing to look at. And it's so edgy, but edgy in a good way and cool. And it's got the right amount of comedy and fun and edginess and good story. And it's awesome. It's the best thing to fucking come out in years. It's amazing.
And may I also say that Mako is my favorite character of all time.
She is fucking awesome. She is fucking awesome.
Her and her family. I love her dog. Her dog with a little jumpsuit on. It's like, it's so cute.
I haven't seen her dog yet, or the rest of her family. I've only seen Mako.
Basically, it's like Mako, but as a dad, and as a little brother, and as a dog, but the mom is a little bit more reserved, but still.
Well then.
Oh man, that fucking series.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to finish Kill la Kill as well. There's a few series that ended up on these lists that... Some of them I may not ever finish, but some of these, I am definitely going to finish. Kill la Kill is certainly one of them. But yes, any of these series that ended up on our list, with the exception of the bad list, well, me and Spider may disagree on Arpeggio of Steel. Everything else we've all more or less agree on. So, go out, check these out, watch them. If you didn't catch the first half of the episode, go watch it. Get the names of these anime where we talked about. Go watch them. Hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Check out my reviews.
Yes. I linked a couple of MangaMan's reviews in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and link one more. May have already linked it, but going to do it. Link this one again anyway. Link it so you guys can go check out his channel on Blip TV. Go check out our own YouTube channel, Radio is Magic on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. I don't have all the links, so I can't link them, but I will eventually get those. But yeah, I think tonight went really well. I thought we had a great show tonight.
I know. What was the overall view count that we got? Like, how many people showed up?
Not many. And I posted this thing everywhere. I think it's just because of the timing. It's right here at the end of the year.
Yeah.
People may still be traveling after Christmas and going to other people's places for New Year's. I think it's bad timing, but overall, I think this show is definitely going to get some hits after the holidays are completely said and done with. For sure.
Link me the video page right now, because I want to go back and listen to Spider Rant.
Yeah, as soon as probably do that tomorrow morning. I forget work because it won't immediately show up right after whenever I save it, and I will have to go immediately after I stop the show, which we're in the outro right now. We don't have our next review decided on just yet. But I will say, we ended this year strong. I want to start next year strong, so I've got an idea what we're gonna do. I'll tell that to you guys whenever I get some free time to do so, because I think it'll be a good thing for us to do. But you guys, I'll announce it on Facebook and all that good stuff later. Yeah. But definitely, if you didn't catch the first half, go back and listen to it, for the love of Celestia.
My throat. My throat. I haven't felt this sore since the last time I did Showstoppers. Oh boy.
Oh, and for the love of Celestia, check out our show tomorrow night, starting at 6 p.m. CST. A 6+ hour New Year's Eve special to ring in the new year. Yours truly is going to be on it with our end-to-end member Asa Duhad as well as Sagefire. We will see you guys in 2014. Adios.
Sayonara.
Goodbye.